Here we are. It's November 3rd, and I'm happy to be here with you today. My name is Sarah McLean, and we're going to meditate. And if you're listening to this on recording, you wouldn't know this necessarily, but there are 37 other people listening right now, and more join us every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, and you can always listen to these recordings on the YouTube channel. So I'm excited about today. I was thinking about a friend of mine who says, you know, my current practice is to dive more deeply into this present moment, to dive more deeply into this, the present moment. And what does that even mean? What does that mean? And I was thinking about how we talk about the three ingredients to meditation. In most cases, they consist of your willingness to do it, and you're here, so that's covered. And that's usually inclusive of an intention, you know, whether it's the intention to relieve your personal suffering, to create peace on earth, to become enlightened, to feel more in love. So for right now, let's take a moment and reflect on what it is that keeps you coming back. What it is that keeps you coming back on Wednesdays, what it is that keeps you coming back to meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes if you like, or gaze toward the ground or the floor. And ask yourself, why do I keep coming back? Why do I keep meditating? What do I get? Get to have when I sit and practice. Now, I'm not going to answer that question for you, but what is it you get to have when you sit in practice? What is that intention that keeps you coming back? Maybe it's a feeling, maybe a word popped right up to respond to that question. But I invite you, if you'd like, to put it in the chat, or at least acknowledge it for yourself. But I'm curious, what keeps you coming back to meditation? What keeps you coming back? What invites you every day to sit down? Space and peace, connection, the truth. Yeah, stillness, that yummy calm feeling. Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wishes. So yes, there's so many reasons to come back. A gift for myself, time for myself, spiritual awakening, calmness, whatever it may be. It's individual. It's individual. For me, I think it creates I'm not sure how to put it into words, but I think it creates an opportunity to feel centered, but I don't know centered in what, I'm not sure, but centered in the not knowing what's going to happen next, and centered and comfortable with the impermanence of life. And meditation also connects me to that permanent aspect, you know, that presence that's looking through your eyes and my eyes. I think that's why. So whatever the case may be, it may change every single day, but there's usually an underlying theme song. So it helps you to deal with uncertainty and change. Exactly. And why is that? So there are three ingredients to meditation. We talk about that first one, willingness, which is accompanied by an intention, which thank you for sharing that in the chat. The second ingredient is your loving and kind attention. And the third, of course, is what you put your attention on. And it's the relationship between the subject, you, and all that intention that's moving through yourself, and then that which you're putting your attention on. And as a friend of mine said, you know, she wants to dive more deeply into this present moment. And pretty much everything you put your attention on exists in the present moment, unless you're diving back into a memory or planning something in the future. Everything right here, whether you look around your space, everything here is in the present moment, isn't it? It may not be here for long, like the wind or the flower petals, but it's right here. And so dwelling deeply into this present moment is, for me, the practice of taking refuge. Now, if that's a term that's Buddhist, and oftentimes it's used in conjunction with taking refuge in the three jewels, which are the Sangha, the community, the Buddha, this search for the eternal truth that's inherent in each one of us, that Buddha inside that is not necessarily satisfied with the information that people are telling us to believe, but we know there's some ground state of being that we can find, and it's an independent journey. And then the Dharma, which is the truth, this unadulterated truth of being right here, right now. Whether you get that truth from a mystic from 100 years ago, or whether you find it in this moment. And so Dharma means truth and knowledge or wisdom or intelligence. So today I was thinking we could dive more deeply into this present moment. Now, I don't know about you, but this has been a really challenging, couple of years, right? And it has I think my practice has really helped me to bear witness to the undoing of the way things used to be and the way things, I imagine, will unfold anyway. And it's really that anchor. It's this practice of this anchor of being comfortable in that not knowing, and being comfortable as the world as we know it might fade away, but then what's in its place, and that uncertainty can create a lot of responses, whether it's fear, anxiety, anger, rage, numbness, re-traumatization in some way, shape, or form. And I can tell you personally, I've gone through all of that, in various stages of the great pandemic. And so my practice is about coming right back here into this endless present moment. So today we can do that. Now, I'm going to suggest that you choose what you want that focus for your attention to be, whether it's the sounds in your environment, the objects of your perception through your sight, your breath, something you're feeling. Maybe it's physical sensations of simply being embodied in your skin. So I'd like you to choose something that's in this moment, something you see or smell or taste or hear or feel. And we'll spend probably the first 10 minutes or so doing that. And then I think maybe we can move into the practice of surrendering, the knowing, the surrendering whatever it is that we're concerned about. We've done this before, and we can surrender it to whatever you want. Whether it's, my mother used to say the rosary, right? So she surrendered it to Mary, right? Or some people surrender it to God, or whatever their version of that is. Some people surrender it to angels and saints. Some people surrender their worry and their fear to a guru of some sort. So the first will be dwelling in the present moment through whatever object you select, and then we'll move to a surrendering process. Now, I want to show you this movement. I don't know if you can see me. I know some of you are on the phone, but there's a practice I did for years in the ashram, where you imagine there are flower roses in your heart, little rose petals or roses, and you pick them and you lay them at the feet of, or in the imaginary arms of whomever or whatever you feel has got your back. Universe, God, Mother Mary, the saints, the angels, the mystics, your guru, your dog, whatever it is you think has your back. And so the practice is really like imagining the flower petals being laid at the feet of whom or whatever. So the first half will be a practice of paying attention to something in this moment. Then we'll move into the surrender practice. And if you feel comfortable doing this arm movement or these gestures, you can do that too. Okay, you ready? Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here today. So let's get started, and you're in charge. So you be in charge of how you want to sit right now. You be in charge of your own comfort. You be in charge of lowering your gaze and finding the support in this moment. You might invite your breath to deepen. Extending and contracting your belly with the breaths. Sending a signal to your body and mind, it's okay to relax right here as we move into this practice for about 20 minutes. Take a moment now to welcome all the sensations that you're experiencing right now in this ever-present moment of now. Inviting your body to soften, inviting your face to relax. Inviting whatever is existing in this present moment to reveal itself to you. Whether it's the nature of your thoughts or your emotions, or any sensory input. Though the mind might want to travel into the past or the future, let's stay right here together, right in this moment. Being kind to yourself, not expecting anything, not trying to have a certain experience. It's as if you're in the river and life is moving by you and you're meeting it with your full attention. Without clinging to any little something. And if you'd like to choose one particular sense object to bring your gentle attention to as we move into this practice, you can do that, or simply maintain that open awareness, welcoming everything and resisting nothing. You might choose your breath or a sound or body sensation, or the whole landscape of sensation. Diving more and more deeply into this present moment. If you find your mind wandering, you can go ahead and silently say, here and now, with the breath. We'll be practicing this for a little while and I'll keep track of the time. Coming back to this moment. There's nothing to get to, nowhere to go, no thoughts to have, nothing to figure out. And now, anything that's unsolved in your heart, a dilemma you might be concerned about, uncertainty you're not comfortable with, a challenge you're facing. These are suggestions for what you might offer to whatever, whomever you take a refuge in, whether it's to this present moment, to a divine entity, whatever it might be. So you can imagine offering whatever's unsolved, whatever's burdening you with this easy gesture. And maybe it's just a faint idea of what you're giving away or who you're giving it to. But let someone else or something else greater than you hold these burdens just for now. In your mind, you might silently say, please take these. Please hold this. I want to unburden myself. This is a silent practice you can do, and we'll do this for a few minutes. There might be a chant that comes to you that you say. It may sound something like, please take this anger. Please take this fear. Please take this confusion. Please take this worry. Hold it for me for a little while. You might deepen your breath as you do this. We'll do this for another minute or two. And letting your hands and arms come to rest on your lap. Returning right to this moment, right here, right now. You might silently say to yourself, I am, on the inhale, and loving awareness on the exhale. This loving awareness that meets all the objects of perception. We'll spend a few minutes doing this practice. I'll keep track of the time. I am loving awareness. So keeping your eyes closed, simply rest in this moment or continue to rest right here, right now. Notice how you're feeling. Might deepen your breath a little bit as you keep your eyes closed. Move into the space around you. You can slowly begin to open your eyes at your own pace. Noticing as you do if colors are brighter, you're more in touch with this moment. The way we touch this moment is simply with awareness. You can open your eyes all the way when you feel ready. I bow to that loving awareness that's in you, lives through you, as you, lives through me as me. That loving awareness that is always deeply, deeply in touch with this moment. Thank you for joining me in this moment. This is it. This is our moment. This is our divine moment together. So thank you for joining me in that way. For those of you listening to this as a recording, we're going to stop recording now. So thank you for joining us.